everybody, Brock Frady here, helping you enjoy your ride. In today's video, we are going to be taking an in-depth look at this 2024 Porsche 911 Turbo Cabriolet. But before we get started, I want to say a huge thank you and shout out to Impex Auto Sales in Greensboro, North Carolina for the opportunity to shoot this beautiful German masterpiece. I'll be sure to leave all of Impex Auto Sales contact information, including their website, in the description box below. There's absolutely no mistaking this front end. You know this looks like a Porsche. You know this is a special machine, and that's the beauty of Porsche, is that their cars look a lot alike in multi-generations. For all intents and purposes, the overall look that Porsche has is this. The biggest difference is that you're gonna see, if you are a car enthusiast, is those massive drilled rotors, red brake calipers, a special word on the very back that starts with T, turbo. The base MSRP of this vehicle is $210,000. This one's gonna be a little bit loftier than that because it's got some extra equipment. We'll get into that all in just a second. The things that you want to know: horsepower. It's got 572 horsepower, 553 pound-foot of torque. That's all powered by a 3.8 liter 6-cylinder twin turbocharged engine that will produce 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. Although Car and Driver and some other people that have reviewed these things tick it at a little bit faster, I think Porsche is just being modest. It has an 8-speed PDK paddle shift transmission, and it also has all-wheel drive. It's technically a 4-seater, but you're not going to want to sit in that back. The miles per gallon, 14 on the city, 20 on the highway, and of course it's going to require premium gas. Here's one of the cool little things that I like about it. The gas tank is located right up front, right here. And I know that because I had to put some gas in it today, because I've been driving it, because it's just so wonderful. I love the rear of it. This, to me, of course I love all the aspects of the exterior of the Porsche, but more than any car line that I know of, the Porsche is just sexier from the rear than any other part. And here's what I want to draw your attention to: this 911 turbo emblem right there. That's what makes this thing just so special. Take a look at that exhaust. It sounds just like heaven, and it really is symphonic. When you really get on the accelerator, and you'll see this later in the video, it sounds like a bunch of different tones. I just don't know how Porsche has done it, but it literally sounds symphonic. That's the only term that I can use. There's a cool LED light bar just above the Porsche emblem right there. You'll see that later in the video. There's that iconic wing that rises and lowers according to the speed. There's another reason that this is going to raise up, and that's in emergency braking. We'll take a look at that in just a minute. Right here is where your engine is going to be located, but you're not going to see the engine at all. Take a look at this front wheel. This is a very iconic wheel. You know that this is going to be on a 911, that beautiful 5-spoke wheel that harkens back to the old school Porsche, and I absolutely love it. You have a 16-inch brake rotor up front that's ceramic, that's cross-drilled, and that's just all things beautiful. You also have a 6-piston caliper up front as well, and it absolutely has incredible stopping power. Now here on the rear, you have a 15-inch diameter cross-drilled ceramic rotor and a 4-piston brake caliper on the rear. And I can just tell you that these things will stop like no tomorrow. And I cannot imagine how much a brake job on this thing is going to cost, but you're not worried about that, because if you can pay $210,000 to $250,000 for this thing, what's a brake job? It's worth it anyways, trust me. Now about that rubber. This one is going to have Goodyear Eagle F1 Super Sport tires on them. I really like these tires. They are nice and sticky, especially when they get warm. The size on the front is going to be 255/35 R20, and on the rear is 315/30 R21. Obviously wider in the back than they are in the front. You don't rotate these tires. You just buy new ones, and then you just go out and you just rip it up again, and then you buy more tires and have more brakes done. Then you get a new one. Then you sell this one to me. So to give you an idea of the size of these tires, take a look here. I'm gonna measure this in hands like you do a horse. So right here, I'm gonna put the palm of my hand right there, and then I'm gonna go in, and it went to this line here. So then I'm gonna put my palm there again, and that's a solid, the width of this tire is 1.5 hands wide of one of my hands. What's the point of that? The point of that is whenever you're in curves and you're absolutely pushing this thing, this is what is going to make it so much fun, because this is going to provide stability, and this is going, and of course, along with all of the safety systems and the torque vectoring and the all-wheel steering and the all-wheel drive, this is what all of that is connected to. So it's critical that the tires be super wide. I love the width of these tires. Now let's take a look at the dimensions. The length is 178 inches. The height is 51 inches. Width is 74 inches. And wheelbase is 96.5 inches. It has a turning radius of 17.5 feet. The track width is 62.5 inches in the front and 62 inches in the rear. So here's a cool little tidbit that I found out as I was researching this beautiful machine. And I'm sorry, but I gotta tell you that I've reviewed a lot of cars. Everything from Ferrari to you name it, blah, blah, blah. I think this is my favorite car I've ever driven. And the reason is because it's small, it's so well balanced. And when I say small, it drives small, but it is so perfect in the balance of everything. The power to gear ratio, when everything just happens, it just happens together and happens so well. Porsche has just engineered the crap out of this car, but it's not over-engineered. It will still let you drive it. It will still let you have fun. It'll still fishtail a little bit. And that's kind of where the adrenaline kicks in. And to me, when you're driving a supercar like this, it's about the adrenaline experience. Well, speaking of adrenaline, in my research on this thing, I saw a little moniker, a term associated with the Porsche called Widowmaker. And you know what that is. You end up dead. Well, in the 930, executives would go out and they would buy a Porsche 930, and it had such a big turbo that when it kicked in, they would lose control because they didn't know how to drive these things. So I'm driving this car today with my wife, and she goes, "Hey, honey, did you know that there's a phrase that people use about the 911 or that these Porsches that is called the Widowmaker?" I said, "Yes, I did know that." And she said, "Don't be stupid." I said, "Yes, ma'am." So in the driving portion of this thing, I have to not be stupid, but you know I'm gonna be. So this is the Widowmaker, and I cannot be more excited to be driving this thing with you. Oh, so check this out. I want to show you something that I learned about this vehicle that is just so cool. And that is right here in the front. You see these little horizontal lines right there. And these are actually like shutters that open and close. You can see the radiator there behind them. And obviously it matches on the other side. Cool little LED light here. But this will open and close in accordance with the amount of cooling that the vehicle needs. Another thing that will happen is that during emergency braking, this will close and the rear wing will shoot up in order to help you slow the car or stop the car more efficiently in an emergency braking situation. That's pretty incredible. And you know a car has a lot of turbo situations when you see a radiator there, when you see a radiator there, and you see a radiator there, because it needs lots and lots of cooling. couple of camera systems here up front. This is going to be for safety, and also when you're driving at lower speeds, it will actually show you curbs and stuff. It also has a system that will raise it up about 2 inches so that you do not damage the beautiful bottom lip of this amazing machine. Another interesting factoid that I learned was about these headlights. And this is called Porsche LED Matrix System with X sight. You can see X sight right there, and then that Porsche LED Matrix System there. There are different LED lights that can illuminate in accordance with how the sensors up front determine need to be lit. In other words, if you're driving at night and it determines that there are vehicles that are oncoming and it doesn't want to blind them, it doesn't just turn off the LED system. It will actually cause specific LED lights to go dark in accordance with the positioning of oncoming traffic. And then when it senses that oncoming traffic has passed, they'll reignite. It's just such cool technology. I don't know if I articulated that very well, but I saw it on the website, so that makes it true. You have another camera here. So you have basically a complete 360 camera view system that allows you to see all around the vehicle. And then of course, it allows you to see from above a stitched image of the vehicle so that when you're parking, you can get it perfectly lined up in the space and you don't chew the front end up on curbs. So this is about as much as of the engine as you're gonna see. You can see there that there are a couple of different filler doors there. And then there is, under here is a fan, a couple of fans. You can see turbo there. There's a couple of fans that are running. There's your oil fill and your radiator right there. So this is like louvered, and you have air induction there, but that's about as much as the engine or components you're going to see. And look, another radiator. We found another one right there. This thing needs to stay cool a lot. I told you earlier that I was going to show you the light bar. This is the beautiful lights of the rear. Oh, that is just so cool. That was such a cool look. Okay, let's take a look at how the convertible top operation works now. There's literally a button. You just pull the button and hold it. And there it is. And just like that, your top is up. I want to show you a cool little button. There's a button right there that is lit up right now, and it looks like an exhaust. Right now that's activated. Let's hit it and deactivate that. And so I'm going to show you the difference between active and deactive. So that is, all right, so it's off now. All right. And so now you have a cool little feature that allows you to make it sound a little bit beefier while it's idling. And that is automatically going to kick in when you put it in Sport and Sport Plus mode also. And Sport Plus mode, I'll show you that on the inside, but that completely changes this vehicle. It just makes it an absolute monster. It's beautiful. The inside of this thing is just as brilliant as the outside, with the red stitching, with the ventilated seats, with as precise as everything is on the outside. Porsche has continued the precision of everything on the inside as well. I like how the little bitty gear selector is right here and it just sticks up. It's intuitive, it's very easy to use. Of course, I've been using the paddle shifters a lot during my time with it. And then with park here and manual here, everything is actually really pretty self-explanatory. And Porsche has actually, in the design of the cockpit, has actually gone to great lengths to remove unnecessary buttons and doodads in the cabin that just cause confusion. And I absolutely love that. Thank you, Porsche, for doing that. Because when you get into this vehicle, it's all a matter of just the drive. you're not so focused on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and all those things. By the way, those things actually do work extremely well and they instantly sync. But Porsche has just taken it to the point of reducing the unnecessary buttons and making it about the drive. I absolutely love that. So now, kind of the moment we've all been waiting for. As long as you have the beautiful key on your person, and you can see lock on the top, unlock on the top, lock, and then to open the frunk is right there. And then you have a panic button here on the back side. All you do is put your foot on the brake and you twist this little happy lever and she fires right up. Just the symphony of love. You can see right there in the very middle, it says turbo and it's the tachometer. That is the only analog device on this entire dash. Everything to the left and everything to the right is going to be all digital, including this display here. The touch responsiveness of everything that is touch sensitive is very efficient. Everything is very easy to use, very common sense. You have some driving functions here. This is actually an assignable button. So this button, you can actually pick what it does. It's customizable. This is going to be like we saw before for the exhaust. This is going to be hazards, traction control, and suspension. Then right down here in the very middle is going to be climate control. All across the top here, self-explanatory what that is. And then you have volume button here, and then these are you can actually push those in. That's track seek. Another climate thing here. This is going to be for driver and passenger dual zone climate control, and then you have more audio things all right here, and this is actually going to be a back button for navigating up here in the screen. Then, as I mentioned before, this cool little lever here, you have reverse. You push it forward to activate reverse, and then you pull toward you to activate neutral and drive. Park, manual mode, and manual mode is true manual mode. This joker will not change gears until you use your paddle shifters up and down. This is for the convertible top, so that puts the top down, puts the top up, and then right here are climate for or controls for your ventilation and for your heated seats. Cup holder, obviously, kind of a carbon fiber looking material here, although it's not carbon fiber. It is carbon fiber in the Turbo S. And then this is for your parking brake. Little small storage here. Then you have the Chrono Track package. That's what that is, and that's a cool little system there. I like it. And then notice the stitching. I really like the red stitching against the black leather. Everything is just very, like I mentioned before, very, very precise. Lock, unlock, seat settings for up to 3 people, window controls, all of that all right here. Now to focus on the joystick of this beautiful machine, I love the steering wheel. And what this is like a visual aid when you really are doing some spirited driving. You know what straight is. So that allows you to kind of regain your composure, because as you'll see, this thing is just insanely fast. I love the red stitching there on the steering wheel as well. The beautiful Porsche emblem, Stuttgart, Germany. And then over here on the left side is going to be voice commands. This is for volume. This is an assignable button. Then over here on the right side, this is going to be for your gauges. So you have Bluetooth there, and then you have a back arrow here, and then you can hit this button, and you can see on the dash, it lights it up in red. So that's the red on the right one, then red on the left one. And then at that point, you can actually roll to get inside of that, and you can see I can customize what that is. So that's miles per hour, that's the radar cruise, the speed limit, and navigation. No route guidance, otherwise it would show a little bitty navigation screen right there on the inside. I'm going to hit this again and then get over here to the second one. And so over here on the right side, you can go to these customizable things, and that is actually going to be a lot of driving oriented things. Sport chrono, press to show, start, and go. And then you can see right here, you're ticking away. So this is for track time. How cool is that? I don't know that I would ever use that because I don't know how to use that, but it's okay. I'm gonna hit stop, I'm gonna hit reset, it shoots it back to 0, and now we're ready to start another track day. And so then I can go to the next one. There's our G-force indicator, all wheel, and so this will obviously show you the power to the front, power to the rear. You can do up to 50-50 power to the front and the rear, although mostly it's going to maintain power to the rear of the vehicle because that's more fun. And then tire pressure info, it starts measuring it when you get up to 15 miles per hour. Performance power, check out the power band. And then sport plus, normal, wet, individual. And so that is going to be controlled manually via this little fun dial here. And then this little button is something else. So I'm going to take this and turn this right and left. And you can see here, you can go wet, nothing happens. Normal, nothing happens. Sport, you can hear it revving up a little bit. Sport plus, the spoiler just went up. And now the car just will actually lower just a touch. I can actually feel the engine in my seat revving higher now. And then there's individual, engine goes back down. So this is actually customizable. But Sport and Sport Plus are just where this vehicle acts angry. It is just pissed off. And when you go to push the gas whenever it's in Sport or Sport Plus, you just hold on because it's absolutely a blast. Then you have a little button here in the middle. And so what this button is going to do, you'll see a timer start right here. I'm going to hit it. See that? Sport response. Sport response, for 20 seconds, the car is going to adjust itself for maximum drivability, maximum output of the maximum power that this thing has access to for 20 seconds. How cool is that? I don't know that I want to actually test that though. And then like I mentioned, there's your tachometer right there. And that is just with the turbo in the middle, that is just an absolute blast. Okay, taking a look at the home screen, you can see in order to get to this screen, you hit the little home icon. And then if you hit the home icon again, it goes to the customized home screen. Or you can just swipe left and right there as well. You can see here is navigation, media, phone, vehicle, AC, notifications, and then all down here. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sport Chrono, settings, and then all of that stuff there. So this is all super cool stuff. These are the things that I really recommend you get in the car and you actually play with, and you figure out how to use these things and you set it up in the exact way that you want it to be set for your specific taste. Because it would, it's fun to have this vehicle and to throw it around and to do all the things that it's capable of doing, but it's also nice to be able to take full advantage of the electronics of this thing because they're really impressive. You can hit navigation, and and I absolutely really love the way the nav system and how clear it is, and it's not overly bright. And at night it goes to obviously into a dark mode, and it's really nice. It's efficient. Usually European vehicles have been known for their challenging navigation systems, but this one is actually nice and easy to use. You can see all the different sources that you have here. And so this is Apple CarPlay, regular radio, FM, XM, satellite, all there. By the way, it has a Bose sound system. There is an upgraded sound system that you can get. You can get the Burmester upgraded sound system. But to me, this one with the Bose, it is a fantastic sound system, and it actually really thumps. You can go vehicle and start to customize some things here. According to these different settings. So under drive, you can go drive mode, and that's the little dial that we were just looking at here. You can also change it manually here. You can go sport exhaust, spoiler extended, and then we can hit extend spoiler. Press and hold. So now it's up. I didn't press and hold it for long enough. I got it. Spoilers retracted. Okay. And then chassis, sport. So you can bring it into normal or sport according to your level of driving that you want to do. Then we can go assistance, and you can see all of the different, these are more obviously safety systems right there. Trip, going to be your different things as far as trip, drive time, consumption, average speed. Yeah, average speed is 14 miles an hour. Absolutely. And then comfort, ambient lighting. There's several different colors that you can change the lighting to. All pretty cool stuff, just to make it nice and neat. And speaking of the driver's seat, I actually really like the way these seats are. They're sporty. You can adjust them completely, like with the bolsters along the sides, the bolsters along the rear. And here you can actually see that you can balance the amount of heat that comes into the backrest or to the bottom portion of the seat. Also, the bolsters are heated as well, it looks like. That's a nice little touch. And then ventilation balance, all right there. So super customizable, even down to the comfort level of your seat system. Back to home, and remember, that was all just inside vehicle. The one thing that I have found that kind of trips me up a little bit, you can see that the climate control system is here, and I've not been able to find an off button. I've been able to find look at that. I just discovered the off button. I've had this car for a long time, and I just found that. So I feel like an idiot. This is how-to car guys showing you how to discover stuff in your Porsche. So that's how you turn the system off. Oh, thank you, Porsche. I was about to dog you, but look, it works now. The only way, and what I mean by that is the only way that I had been able to find that you can actually turn off the AC is to go here and to hit off. And I was about to say that was inefficient, but Porsche comes through. You just do that to cut it off. I like that. So the middle button, you take the fan speed all the way down, and then one more click and it turns the system off. You guys think of everything. Thank you, Porsche. Pretty incredible. Air quality, you can turn on the ionizer, air circulation, all that stuff. And so I'm not going to go through all of these because we want to get to the drive, but that's where all of this cool stuff is. And this is why I always say it with every car review that I do. Get into the car when you first get it, because I just discovered something new. And you can see that, you know, I've been sitting in this car for hours and hours playing with all the little buttons, and boom, all of a sudden I discover how to cut the AC off, actually. So get into the vehicle when you first get it, play with all the buttons, drive it, have a good time, but make sure you really are able to take full advantage of all of the electronic capabilities that these things have, because it's cool little stuff too, and it actually makes your ownership that much more enjoyable because you can take full advantage of everything. Okay, so now let's drive this beautiful beast. Oh my gosh, I love this thing. Okay, everybody, here is the drive of the beautiful 2024 Porsche 911 Turbo Cabriolet. I have the top down, as you can see. Sorry about the pillar being here, but I figured that this was kind of the best shot that you can see everything exactly from my perspective. So what you see is what I see right now. We are in normal mode right now. Normal is highlighted right here. So that's no fun. So I'm going to turn it to sport. The exhaust kicks up. I'm going to turn it to Sport Plus. So now the spoiler is up. The vehicle is a little bit lower. The sound is better. Suspension is tuned now. And that. And that, my friends, is the Porsche.
Holy cow.
Woo! So yeah, my producer here likes the way this thing goes. I'm not using the paddle shifters right now. The PDK is just absolutely brilliant. I'm gonna hook around here and do a quick U-turn. That shifting is just a thing of brilliant. By the way, there is zero, absolutely zero turbo lag. Here we go. And I hope you can hear those shift points, because it's just so gorgeous. We're in 4th gear, 3rd, back to 4th. Thank you, Red Camry. You're keeping us safe here. 4th. And you can just see it is absolutely effortless to drive this vehicle. Now I was shifting manually. Now it has taken over. I can shift fully manually by the button that I showed you before in the center of the console. But right now it's kind of doing this telepathic shifting for me. So I can shift and it can shift also. And I like I say in every video, I wish you were here so that you could feel this, the way these shifts happen. It's just unbelievable. It just doesn't make any sense how perfect the shifting on this thing is. We're up at 50 miles an hour. The steering wheel is just absolutely a thing of beauty. Wondering when I was going to hear that blow-off valve, and that just makes my heart sing right there, buddy. And I purposefully got under some trees at that stoplight just so I could try to hear the beauty, the sound of the blow-off valve from those beautiful turbos under the trees. And I hope that it picked it up on the GoPro, because that just sounded like a thing of beauty. Okay, everybody, that's going to do it for our in-depth look at the 2024 Porsche 911 Turbo Cabriolet. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you. Wait, that's actually not possible, because I'm the one that got to drive it. I'm the one that got to keep it for the weekend. Anyways, I hope you had a smidgen of a percentage of enjoyment that I had out of bringing this video to you. Again, I would like to say a huge thank you to Impex Auto Sales in Greensboro, North Carolina for the opportunity to film this beautiful vehicle. Please check them out on the worldwide internet machine. Their address is below. But remember, the most important thing of all, have a wonderful day, everybody.